And of course, it's the advancements of not just transition for Africa, but for our continent. I think it's such an important discussion. It's not just a transition. It's not a simple shift, I guess, from fuel fossils, rather, to renewables. It is a return of organizing society that aligns with who we are as a continent and who we've always been. Long before colonization, African civilization, particularly the Bantu-speaking world across Central and East and Southern Africa, lived through a philosophy we now call Ubuntu, a belief that a person is a person through other people, and that humanity is only complete when the community and the land flourishes together. The world view, of course, shaped governance, justice, wealth distribution, and environmental stewardship. But leaders were custodians, not rulers. Land was held in the trust, not owned for private profit. Justice was restorative and not punitive. And the environment was not a resource to be exploited, but a living relative, part of the community. In many ways, Africa is not rediscovering climate justice. Africa is returning to it. What just energy transition means is practical African terms. For instance, for Africa, a just transition must be development first, guided by Ubuntu principles that no one is safe until everyone is safe. It is a must that we expand energy access, because over 600 million Africans are without electricity. Is a collective failure. It is a must that we create jobs and industrialize the continent, because prosperity is shared and it's not individual. It must ensure affordability, because an energy system that increases the cost of living violates communal well-being. It must include energy diversity, from renewable to natural gas as a transition fuel, supported by strong grids, storage, local beneficiation of Africa's sacred or critical minerals. In pre-colonial Africa, systems were designed for long-term balance, not just short-term extraction. Our transition must reflect the same principles. Secondly, attracting investment without compromising sovereignty. Africa welcomes global finance, but we reject models that recreate colonial patterns of dependency, of debt, of mineral extraction. Our priority is strengthening African capital systems so that external financing becomes catalytic and not controlling. This includes transparent regulatory systems rooted in good governance. It includes technology transfer and local manufacturing. It includes regional climate funds and African financial instruments. Beneficiation of minerals inside Africa instead of exporting raw ore. Stopping illicit financial flows that steal billions from our continent. Leveraging Africa's USD 1 trillion in pension funds and sovereign wealth funds as clean, accountable equity partners. And critically, local equity partnership must benefit communities directly, not corrupt state systems. This is achieved through community trust, municipal development funds, open contracting, and independent regulations. Mechanisms that reflect Ubuntu, commitment to collective stewardship, Before we borrow externally, we must first close leaks, build industries that retain African wealth, stop the extraction of our minerals without value for return. Thirdly, lessons from South Africa's Just Energy Transition Partnership. The South African JETP teaches the continent that national ownership is non-negotiable. It shows the danger of loan-heavy packages that increase debt instead of unlocking development. And it reminds us that communities must be at center, because if people do not trust the transition, it will fail. Crucially, the JETP revealed that the grids are the backbone of Africa's transition. Without strong transition infrastructure, even the best renewable resources cannot be used. Ubuntu as an ethical foundation of Africa's climate approach. Ubuntu is not just a slogan, it is Africa's ancient civilization philosophy, a pre-colonial blueprint for justice, for collective well-being and environmental balance. Ubuntu teaches that a community thrives only when everyone thrives. Humanity and nature are interconnected. Leadership is in service, justice is restoration, and wealth is a shared responsibility. This is the spirit of Africa that brings to climate action. This is the lens through which we view fairness. And this is why Africa refuses to carry the reputation burden for crisis it did not create. Closing, finally, Africa's transition must be financially just, socially inclusive, environmentally balanced, and rooted in our own philosophy of communal life. By combining Ubuntu with modern innovation and by building African capital, not just borrowing it, we can create a transition that is sovereign, that is ethical, and truly and deeply African. Thank you so much.